Okay, why am I getting duck feet? Something... Okay, I'm getting duck feet.
Yes,
Don't ask me.
yes.
The feet are different. The feet are different.
Yeah. Conducting this energy,
It's part of it.
or it is the energy.
It's the whole space.
Okay. Oh, the whole space, including the water and the expanse above you.
Yes.
It's all connected.
Yes, that's all a conduit. I'm in a conduit. Oh, that's it. I'm in a conduit. With water at the bottom.
Excellent.
And everything around me is dark.
Uh-huh.
But it's huge. Or I'm tiny, one of the two. I got the impression of reaching down, touching one of the filaments.
What was that like?
I don't know. I was just either separating it or touching it, but I can see me touching. There's like a grouping of them, and one piece of it.
One piece of it is sticking out?
Yeah, kind of like if you saw like an electric cord, how they have the different colors.
Yeah.
Similar to that. So there's this whole thing is like an optic, but there's this piece is like it unraveled.
Mm-hmm.
And am I there to fix it? I've got my hand on it, and I can see that there's like a splice. I mean, it's not cut, but it's outside of the sleeve.
Uh-huh. Well, let's do this. It sounds like you feel like you have a body, since you said you see your hand, right?
Yes.
Does it feel like you have a body?
I hadn't thought about a body, but I had a body. I had to because I was standing. I had feet.
Yeah.
So I had the feet.
Okay.
And now I have the hand, at least one hand. I reached over. I could see. I felt like I was standing.
Uh-huh. You can look at yourself outside as an observer if it's more helpful, that you can see more clearly.
All right. I'm just going to speak. This saw a tall, thin, long-armed being, kind of robish.
Like it has some kind of clothing?
Yes, there's some kind of clothing. It's more of a 50-50 energy body. Tall. Don't know necessarily there's a sex.
Are you male or female?
I want to say female.
Impression. Okay, let's
I
just go with your first impression.
And there's like a cowl over the face, so you can't see there's a hood.
Oh, okay.
I get the impression they can change frequencies and vibrations and move in and out of physical to non-physical, and they're holding the physical for this process.
Okay, beautiful. You're doing fabulous. Did you feel healthy or unhealthy?
Oh, healthy.
Young
Very
or
healthy.
old?
First impression came that was young.
Okay. And then you said there was a cowl on the head. Is there anything in the hands or on the back?
No, just bare, long, thin hands. Nothing on the back, just the robe covering. I'm getting an idea of like a belt tying it. Okay, why am I getting duck feet? Something... Okay, I'm getting duck feet.
Yes,
Don't ask me.
yes.
The feet are different. The feet are different.
Yeah.
And they're bare.
Does that mean they're webbed?
Yeah, they look like duck feet.
Okay. Are they orange as well, or?
I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know, blue, but I think the first impression to reflect was like the orange yellow to associate the duck feet.
Okay, yeah, but they're blue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. And then you said you felt a belt?
Yes,
Does that belt have some significance?
I just get the impression of holding the robe close.
Okay. And then is there any jewelry or ornamentation other than the belts?
No, I don't get that impression.
Do you feel comfortable with this place?
It feels like a job.
Uh-huh.
I came to do a job. It's a task. I'm doing it.
Okay. How do you spend most of your time?
I got the impression of bent over tracking tracking like a dog track a scent that I'm bent over tracking things. I guess I'm following this conduit, fixing things.
Fabulous. Well, is there anything else about that scene that you're noticing?
No, it's just dark and it's just me and doing the job. And
well, let's do this. Since you're not at the place where you live, I would love to see where you live. What do you see?
it's like a light city. There's like I want to say a castle of light, but it's not a castle. It's spires,
Okay.
tall, and it's light glass.
Castle-like.
Yeah, just tall spires of clear glass with light emanating.
The light's emanating from within?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Are you gazing at this from the outside?
Yes, I got the impression of the cowl's back, my head's exposed.
Okay.
For some reason I have the idea I flew out of where I was
Oh, okay.
with wings.
Okay.
So that was, and
And now that the cowl's back, can you describe the face for me?
okay, it's some combination between a dragon and a bird.
Oh, okay.
So, but humanist,
And what gives you the impression that it's dragon-like?
overlaying images.
Okay.
I'm trying to associate.
And when you say bird, does it imply a beak?
It was more of like a feather / scale over the head.
Kind of where the hair is. There's feathers or scales.
Yeah, but there was also like blue. It was like bird wings, but they were blue. But it was, I just saw the flying, so I don't know where the wings are.
Well, you said it could change shapes, right?
Yeah, focusing on what physicality. So it could be a shape shifting. So maybe they went from the bird shape to combination, but they're still upright, 2 legs.
And back to the face, you said it was a combination of a dragon and a bird
Yeah, it
and a
was
human, right?
different. It was humanish, I guess, the association with the nose, eyes, mouth, but
Are the eyes bigger than a human eyes?
round and black. But
Is the nose bigger or smaller than a human's?
I am almost saying almost non-existent.
Okay.
It's almost like a cavity.
Oh, okay. A smaller cavity for the nose. And then, is there a mouth?
Yes, but it keeps morphing back and forth, so I'm thinking there's different bodies, different associations, and what I'm getting is overlays of different ones. So I was seeing what could be a beak, but then also like a snout, but then also a humanoid mouth grin with kind of reptilian teeth.
We'll take them all. I like them all. And you said you flew there, and now that you're there, where is it that you sleep and you eat?
Well, I saw the building, and I landed in front of it, so I'm standing there looking up at it.
So on the outside, you said it was like tall spires, right?
Yeah, like crystal
Is there
clear
a door
glass.
or anything like that where you can go in?
I think I just think myself through.
Oh, okay.
Just walk through the side and go inside.
Well, tell me what it looks like once you get inside there.
Wow, getting in is like bending. Oh, it's hard to describe because you're going through like jello plasma, but it's rolling off of you as you walk through it. It like springs back once you make it in.
Okay, so you can feel yourself going through that, whatever
Yes,
the object,
pushing through
the
it,
wall,
like yeah,
Very good description, jello plasma. And what do you see when you get inside there?
like in an entryway.
And as you look around that entryway, what do you see?
I can see up high, like
goes
windows.
very high?
Yes, it's high, long.
Are there any physical furnishings or anything like that that you notice?
No, I'm not seeing. It's like an empty room.
Okay.
No, is it a portal? It's a.
Did you see it was a portal?
I'm wondering if it's because it's not like a home, but it's an in between.
Is that the way you're going to get to your home?
Or is that my home? I don't know. But there's nothing. It's kind of vast, open, light. There's like it's a floor with walls.
Dark or light?
Light. Very
You said
light.
light. Everything's
Yeah.
light. Is the light? Is there a light source?
It just like glows with it. It emanates.
Okay. Is everything glowing? The walls and the
Yeah.
floor?
Yes, everything is. I don't know if there's doors. I don't see doors, but it just seems like a big, long room.
So what do you feel called to do?
Okay, this was weird. I kind of saw it, like that room. This is going to sound strange. Like an eyeball. And the room was oblong, stretched like a cat's eye. So that room was like an eyeball.
Okay.
And I just got the impression that I get blinked, but I was walking on top of it.
You got the impression that it blinked?
Yes.
Like the whole room? Okay.
That's what I was walking on, was the eyeball, that part of it.
Oh, you were walking on the eyeball. Okay, so that's kind of below your feet.
But that whole room was in that shape, so that's just weird.
You're doing fabulous. So you got a feeling that the The room blinked, and then what happened?
I guess I get the impression I went down into it. When it blinked, it absorbed me into the eye.
Okay, and now where do you find yourself?
All right, I'm flying, flapping again as I descend.
You're flapping?
Yes.
Your wings? Okay.
And whether I'm dreaming this or not, but it's feeling like a dragon. And I'm descending down.
Well, let me know when you get someplace.
I mean, just dropping down, down, down. Well, I feel like I landed hard because Joan doesn't know how to fly. I kind of got the thump on the ground. I'm back in the dark. I'm getting the impression of underground, dark stones, cave-like.
Okay.
I dropped into a cave.
Okay.
There's a water, there's like a water pool.
A big water pool or a little one?
Yeah, big enough. It's big. It's an underground lake.
Okay.
It's nice. It's a big cavern.
Okay. So you dropped into this big cavern with a big water pool, a lake. And
there's some kind of lighting because I can see that the lake's there.
Are you in a tunnel?
The whole thing is a big cavern, tunnels.
Yeah. Okay.
The water is just part of it.
What are you doing right now?
I was swimming.
Oh, you were swimming. Oh,
yes.
you landed in the lake.
I walked to the lake. I like the
okay.
water, so I was
okay.
playing in the water.
Oh, excellent. Is there anything else down there besides you?
Well, I am back in dragon form this time. I don't know. I'd have to walk around. I get the impression that there's more, but I'm happy on my own. But there's more around, but not like living right around me, but in the area.
But you're happy you're splashing around there?
Yes, I have my own place. I've got room.
Oh, you feel like that's your own place?
Yes, I think that's my own place.
Oh, okay. That's where you may live then. Huh? Excellent.
And it's comfortable. I stay in this form. I'm happy sleeping on the ground. Just have the heat from it's not cold. It's more on the warm side, but it's not damp.
And do you feel like you have any family that's there with you? Or do you just feel like this is your own special place and you're alone? This
is my place, but if I wanted to go see family, I know that they're close and they care and I could go visit them.
Let's go visit that family now.
Well, I went outside and like a valley, beautiful trees, and there's an outdoor lake.
How did you get outside? You walked outside?
I walked out through the tunnels outside. It was like in a mountainside. So I walked out that, and the family is a communal valley. And we all live in the valley.
Oh, okay.
And so, trying to get the impression of forms, everybody communicates, they're happy. It's more than just family, there's friends. It's a happy place. Everybody's saying hi. And
are they speaking out loud or are they talking telepathically?
I'm trying to figure out if I'm still in dragon form or if I have changed into another form and how
Have you morphed into a different form?
That's the hard part. It's hard to say. It's like the form is condensed. So yeah, maybe it's still what it is in a condensed form.
So a smaller dragon?
Maybe. But I think the people greeting me are in very different forms too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about those other beings, what they looked like.
So I think these people can shape and change based on how they feel. But they recognize you no matter what form you're in.
Right. You recognize each other.
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't matter how you're appearing physically.
Yes, because like I said, I just get the impression of down the street, everyone's, hey, how you doing? I'm doing great, how you doing? And just the overwhelming energy is positive, but it also feels like there's like a village, city, it's a group of beings. They're living there. They have homes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what their structures are.
I keep wanting to say that they change and they morph too. Okay, that's what's going on.
Okay.
Everything's changing and morphing.
Yeah, that's hard to get a
what
handle
it
on.
is. Because I get the impression that the physical aspect representation is related to the mental, I don't want to say wellness, I guess projection, the mental. They're able to change things based on how they feel is what comes to me.
So it's under their control?
Yeah.
Okay.
But nobody feels bad. Everybody's happy and their representation of it in different form.
And do you feel like you perceive things differently from how they perceive their things?
No.
Okay, you just perceive what they're putting out there.
Yeah, but we recognize each other no matter what form they're in. So it's a frequency, the individual frequency, but it's also a morphing of their, what they want to express, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's very fascinating. But like I said, everybody's nice and cordial, and it's almost like a utopia bubble. It's a beautiful place. It's just forms they morph into, whether it's the buildings or the people. I keep seeing round. I'm not seeing jagged edges.
Okay.
I'm seeing flows and rounds and
soft edges.
Yeah, soft edges, more muted colors, kind of iridescent, whitish tan. These are the buildings and the beings that are changing.
So it's kind of not looking at something static. It's like looking at something alive.
Yes, yeah, and it moves and it shifts and it changes and
sounds amazing.
It's outside of there's still trees and planet per se. So you've got the mountains, you've got the natural. I came from the cave. And I get the impressions others live in caves as well too in that form. But in the middle is the city, the commerce area where everybody gathers and lives and exists. And I almost get the impression it's like in a big bubble.
Like there's a dome above you?
I keep getting that impression that but I don't see it above the mountains. It's in that center part. There's some kind of bubble. But everything inside it, too, is like soft edges and morphing into...
Are you inside of that bubble or outside of that
Yeah,
bubble?
I had walked into the valley, into where everybody is. So I was just walking through, and that's how I could tell that everybody's smiling, waving, doing their thing.
Yeah, does it feel like you were in the bubble when you were in the cave and you just continued in the bubble, or you saw the bubble and you passed through it?
I didn't perceive the bubble when I got in there, when I was going into it. But after observing the morphing and how that works, for some reason I get the impression now it's all under a bubble. But I don't remember passing through it or seeing it as I approached. But I did have a distinct circle valley thing between the mountains.
Yeah. And does it have a function, that bubble?
I'm wanting to say some kind of connective energy that everybody contributes for the balance for each other. They all contribute to balance each other. It's an energy balance. It's not knowledge thing. It's more like leveling out the energies. Everybody contributes a little bit, so if somebody's off balance, it balances them. Maybe that's why they're all so happy and kind of utopia-ish, is they balance it with the energy from the bubble.
Do you feel like you can get some of that balancing energy? That's why you would go there to gather, is to kind of get some of that good energy and get balanced?
I think being part of the community, it's an automatic, I'm getting the impression is when you join the community, it's part of being it. So you contribute, but it doesn't hurt or it's not detrimental, but it is a contribution. It's not like you're paying for anything. You didn't give anything up, but it helps everybody.
So by being part of that collective, everybody supports everybody else. And then you said it's a gathering area. Is there anything going on right now?
Okay, I had another, for some reason I'm coming at me that, okay, stop it. Okay, I got to speak it. I got the impression again, because like I said, I see things up, that the Ring of Mountains, the dragon beings are guarding these beings. And
Can we call them the guardians of these beings?
They are. They have a different body, a different energy, but they come here with those morphing ones. They're different than them.
Right.
So they're a different energy, but they enjoy it, and it's like they're coming to check on them, because it's changing, and it's because the family surrounds, the dragon family, whoever in the mountains, surrounds this group of beings, trying to get, because those beings morph and change. Their energy is high. These change their energies. They support each other. And the dragon beings cohabitate and work with them. But I get the impression that the dragon beings can come and go, that the other beings don't.
Okay.
I don't get the impression that the other ones move about and can do different things, but these other ones, they're just living their life. So it's kind of like they're all saying hi to their guardians as they walk through.
And what do the dragon beings get in return for being guardians?
peace. I get the idea of peace, contentment. They just watch over them. I think the energy too. They love the energy because that energy is so. It's just beautiful. It's just a great soothing energy. So I think they come out and hang around, and they don't have to hang around in their full form. They can change their forms too. They're not like the other people. They're different. But they have the ability to change to, I want to say, 3 forms.
The beings or the dragons?
The dragons. The beings are morphing. So I think I don't necessarily know that those beings physically have a form or as much as an energy.
Do they just have a physical form for the dragons?
The dragons themselves have the form of the dragon. And like I said, I think they have 3 forms. But the other ones are different, and they're more of the energy, the morphing, without an actual physical. But I keep seeing a physical, but I can't see if it's an overlay of associating the welcoming, neighborly thing with the vision of a human welcoming, or if it's just the energy that's trying to be communicated.
Do these beings like ride on the dragons like we think of it?
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. I think the dragons like to be in their midst and visit. I get the impression of guardianship. The other beings aren't dumb or anything. They're more pure. And I don't know what they're guarding against, but they're enjoying their time in the midst of these other beings. There's a peacefulness, there's a tranquility, and they're there.
And is this guardianship of just the collective, or do they form special relationships with individual beings?
I don't think they do. Not with. They have the relationships with the other dragons in the mountain range, and I get the impression. Well, okay, how do I get that? Because that morphed. I know there was family there, but I think there's also others. I want to say the word station came to me. Okay. So I think they're stationed there, that they have the family that's there, but others may come and go. But they don't have relationships or anything. It's more of just watching over these beings. Okay.
Do you recognize any of these dragons?
I get the impression they only come out one at a time, and I don't know why.
Okay.
They take turns coming out to be with the beings.
Okay.
But, okay, so now that kind of makes sense, too, that they're, I want to say, on a mission, because it's not their home. But again, we go back, I guess, to that guarding, or the guardian, the family's there, and then there are others that come in and rotate out.
Okay.
So I get the impression that the dragons visit each other, but this isn't their home.
Okay.
So this is a job.
Well, let's do this. Is there anything else about this scene that you noticed?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing fabulous. Let's close out that scene. Drift and float to an important day in the life of this dragon being that we are viewing. What do you see?
The first thing that came to me is being elder in a cave, alone, and knowing my time was up. And just like laying down and waiting to go, and you just know that it's time.
Yeah.
So it's just, you're just going to lay down and be done.
So there's nothing physically wrong with the body other than just
old age? Yeah, it's
old
just
age?
time to let go. I mean, I'm not seeing. Yeah, it's just time to let it go.
Well, you will not feel any physical pain or symptoms. You can tell me about it as an observer. Whatever has happened has already happened. And now tell me, can you see the body? What do you think about it as you look at it?
It's beautiful, peaceful. It's just left and served its purpose.
As you look at it from this perspective, what do you feel like the purpose and the lessons were of that life?
I get the impression it did its duty. Yeah, it did what it was asked. Was there for the family, protected. I'm not getting any impression of relationships or children or anything. It's kind of like it was born to do a job, and it did its job, and it's done. So now it's just, it lived, it existed, it served its purpose.
Excellent. Well, what do you think the lessons were of that life?
I guess take joy in the small things. If you look at the watch's cycles, they all took their turns guarding, but they were part of the being's life, but they weren't the center of it. I don't think they affected a lot of change. They didn't go in to make changes to those they were watching, but they were able to be in the midst. I'm even starting to wonder if they knew the dragons were there, but they were greeting them. So it's interesting too. I just get the impression of there wasn't a lot of activity, a lot of doing. It was just to the cave and guarding those beings.
You're doing fabulous. Are you still floating above the dragon's body?
Yeah, I'm still in the corner watching it. It's still he. I want to say he. Now it's a he for some reason.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do now that you're out of the body?
All right. For some reason, came back, find my next assignment. Well, that's fun. So yeah, get this, do your duty, do the job.
So where do you find yourself now where you're getting that assignment at?
All right, for some reason I went back through the eye, back into that white building and exited. Interesting. And then I'm back outside of that building. So I went through that jelly plasma thing. Oh, this is getting interesting.
Yeah. Now where do you go?
Because now I don't really have I have an essence.
Well, let's move ahead to when you have to leave wherever you're at and something happens.
I'm getting the impression I joined into I want to say, a stream. Everything comes like an energy stream, I guess is what you could say. So I'm in an energy stream. Which way am I going? I feel like I'm fighting it, that I'm trying to go up and it's all going down. Okay, for some reason I let go, I'm back on a beach.
Okay.
Okay, I like my beaches.
Yeah. Is there anybody else on the beach with you?
There's a crab.
Oh, a crab.
A hermit crab.
Uh-huh.
So I was hoping I'm not a hermit crab.
Are you that hermit crab?
No, I'm bigger. I'm more, why I want to say gelatinous mass. But gelatinous mass comes to mind.
A gelatinous mass.
Yes, that is just fascinating.
Well, just sink into that feeling of being a gelatinous mass and tell me what it is you're doing.
Did I get washed up on the shore?
No.
Well, that was sad.
Yeah. Feels like you got washed up on the shore?
Yeah, I got chopped up in something and I'm not doing good, so now I'm washed up dying on the beach. Oh, yay!
Oh, boy. And now you're dying on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, you will not feel any physical pain. You can watch it as an observer if you'd like.
But I
Whatever
like the
has
beach.
happened has happened. So from this perspective, do you see that little water creature that you were?
Yeah, it was a pretty big sized mass of whatever it was. It's kind of like I want to say jellyfish, but not. But it's an amoeba-ish mass thing. But it had a little bit of self-awareness.
I was going to ask you if you had any thoughts while you were in the body.
Yeah, it was just kind of, when it was on the beach, I could see the crab. But it was okay with what was happening. I mean, it wasn't freaking out or in pain or crying. It was just like, oh, okay. I'm kind of going to decompose into the sand. I don't know that it had a lot of mobility or a lot of, I don't know, I just get the impression it just floated in the ocean to and fro, and it just existed. And then it got chopped up.
What do you think were the lessons and purpose of that life?
But soon enjoy the moment because you don't know what's going to happen. But I can relate to enjoying the water and being in the water, the ebb and flow, the back and forth, and the feeling of the water, the sun. It felt tactile feelings. It was able to feel the difference between the part that was exposed to the sun and the part under the water. The rhythm of the waves. It had senses.
Okay.
So it was just existing. I get the impression it just floated. Just drifted and it had no agenda, no plan, just was. So it just existed. I want to say it enjoyed. I don't know that it heard, but it felt. So it could feel the motion, it could feel the water, the temperature difference. There was a sun, so it was able to feel that. I don't get the impression it could feel the difference between heat and cold, but it could feel the difference of the light, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Well, we'll
So,
go with it. We'll go with whatever you're feeling.
book, so it was
It was
different.
interesting.
Yeah. It was a
Well, excellent. You're doing beautifully.
gelatinous blob.